Welcome to the show. I am James Swanwick. One of the really cool things about this business that I have chosen for myself is celebrating graduated clients 2.5, 3, 4 years down the line. Of course, we have our Project 90 flagship program, which helps entrepreneurs, executives, investors to stop drinking for 90 days. We've also got a 365-day program. And some folks quit for 90 days. Some folks quit for 3 years, almost 3 years, 4 years. And one of those former clients of ours is Steve Aguiar, who's 53. He's an environmental compliance supervisor in local government in the city of Livermore in California. And he joins us now for a check-in, 2.5 years alcohol-free, about 2 years and 2 months since he first started inside of our Project 90 program. Steve, so great to see you, mate.
Great to see you, James. Thanks for having me.
What is life like 2.5 years alcohol-free?
It's great. I mean, my professional life, is better. My marriage and my physical health. I'm a lot smaller than the first time we talked on the phone. So lots of benefits. Where would you like me to start? Work or personal life or health?
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the beginning. So it sounds like we're going to talk about your professional life, marriage, and then your health, overall health, because you have lost a lot of weight. So just give our listener a little bit of background about you, who you are, what you do, your personal life, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, I work for the city of Livermore, environmental compliance. I deal with wastewater regulations and stormwater regulations that we need to keep our local industries in check. I've been doing it 25 years. And, James, when we first talked, and you asked me about my job, I'm like, I got a bad commute, it's kind of a lot of negative vibe to it. I still got the same job. I got a different outlook on it. I started the 30-day no alcohol challenge a few days before the COVID lockdown started here. And turned out to be a great decision and great timing. During COVID, I ended up as the interim division manager, position that I was in line for, and didn't know if I wanted to do this or that. So anyways, I was put in charge of this division for, a good period of time. And it turned out I proved to myself, the doubts I had in myself, I could do this job. And I liked it. And, we had a great time. I shared in our P90 group when I was doing it. I started growing pumpkins just because I wanted to grow these large pumpkins at home. And my wife saw, we have no room in the yard. And I go, well, I got spot at work and I'm in charge. I can do what I want. So I started doing it. Started clearing some weeds. Someone's all, what are you doing? I said, I'm gonna grow some giant pumpkins that are ready for Halloween. Now, this person asked me to help, and it kind of snowballed. And the whole time I'm like, how do I keep people's morale, positive in times? These are we're public works folks, and we consider ourselves like we're first responders in time of crisis, an emergency, an earthquake, a fire. These people run the water plant. They got to come in. And it kind of snowballed, and people just got involved, and it came this kind of like team building, unofficial team building thing I started. So
your colleagues got involved with this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So your alcohol. So you were drinking alcohol for some years up until COVID, right? Just before COVID lockdowns. Yep. Then because you stopped drinking, you've got clarity and energy and focus, I'm assuming, and this is what led to the pumpkin business, the pumpkin enterprise.
Exactly. So, it was just a good team building thing to keep people, and it didn't intend, that wasn't the intention. It was just, hey, I'm going to do this and kind of do something on my lunch hour when I'm not riding the bike, which we'll get to on the health part. And so the time I knew I had some success is with a guy, kind of grumpy guy, this or that, has been around a while like me. And he's all, hey, he came Monday morning. He's all, man, he's all, you idiot. And I knew he wasn't calling me an idiot that way. It was in a nice manner. And he goes, it's Sunday night. And it's usually the time I start going, oh, man, I got to go back into work tomorrow, this or that. And I'm thinking, I wonder how the pumpkins are doing. Got this guy kind of excited to come into work for something different. And it kind of just did it as a distraction from all the things in the news. And long story short, third year in a row, we're growing pumpkins right now. But anyways, that clarity in that position, I found myself interacting with the city manager, our emergency center that was activated. And I was just really glad to have that clarity and have a positive attitude with work being put in that role. And, I got a lot of compliments from colleagues that have known me through the years, the ups and downs of life. And they're like, man, what are you doing? I just keep telling Steve is great. He's got the most positive attitude, and I can be kind of a negative guy. Kind of got a cynical sense of humor, and I was getting compliments like that. And then, I didn't keep it a secret. My staff that I'm personally responsible for managing, I said, day one, I said, hey, I'm doing this alcohol-free thing, and I'm going to have some times where I got to be on a call, and I'm doing this, and so just wanted to let you know. And so one of my colleagues was like, he came to me, this is like this. I have a lot of successes. This is the one I'm most proud of. He came to me about 4 or 5 months later, so I've done the 30-day, I've completed the 90-day. And he's like, I was telling everybody, Steve's crazy. He's not going to drink anymore. This guy, we've drank before at conferences and stuff like that. He comes into my office real serious, almost in tears. He's like, man, I've seen what you've been doing, and I've got to make changes in my own life. And I'm gonna stop drinking, and I'm doing this thing. I told him about this program. He ended up ultimately doing something else. And I'm happy to say that person right now is coming up on 2 years in September himself.
Wow. That's incredible.
That made me really think. I think back of just going, I didn't talk to him about it. That's all I told my folks. Hey, I need to make some changes in my life. This path of drinking is not working out for me any longer. And so someone observing that, and they kind of said, we used to come in the morning going, oh crap, what kind of mood is the boss going to be in? And he's all, you were coming in with a good attitude. You saw me losing weight and all that stuff. And he's done it. That is like by far one of the things I'm most proud of. And it was just kind of like that domino effect and someone observing you. It made me think of, well, geez, all those times in the past when I wasn't present, when I wasn't the best version of myself, what impression I was leaving folks. So that's the past. I can't do anything about it. But moving forward, having that domino effect, seeing that and seeing this person succeed in their alcohol-free journey, just because, I did it. And COVID was the opportunity. I could have went that other path. I was going down that wrong road of I'm starting to drink too much. How I got here was my wife, God love her. She didn't nag me like, why are you drinking so much? Is that, when your spouse approaches you with just genuine concern that I'm worried about your health, what's going on? That was the wake up call for me. It wasn't like, you need to stop drinking, you need to do this. No, it was just like, hey, what's going on? And this isn't healthy. And that led me to, searching some stuff on the internet. I got to do something. I wasn't, I didn't think I needed to go to AA. That kind of was always had a dark thing. It's just like, I'm just choosing the wrong thing here. And I know I always had the willpower, I'll quit for 90. I've done marathons in my past, and those were all like a year free alcohol. I did it, but that was a finish line. I finished the marathon, and then, hey, let's go celebrate. Let's go have some beers. And then all those gains slowly go away. I've done that twice. So this time around, I was looking for that mind shift, that change of where I'm not just, hey, I'm setting a goal, willpower. I'm going to not drink. I'm going to lose weight. And there's a finish line. There's no finish line with this. And that's what I love most about Project 90 is it changed that mindset. I truly don't feel like I'm giving something up now. I've had so many gains. I don't want alcohol. A lot of people say, hey, it's quit or reduce. And some people do that. And so yourself. And I know moderation is, I could do it. If you said, Steve, 90 days, have 2 beers a week, I could do that. I could set that and this or that but why do I want to do that? I don't want to crack that door open because I know long-term moderation is not a path for me. And I gave up. I don't look at it as giving up alcohol. I've gained so much. And it's almost, I don't want to say easy now, but it's just, I just don't want it. And professionally, it's made me make decisions. When we first talked, do I want this division manager job? It came up. but it took so long to come up. I'm 53. I could retire anytime now from public service. And I came to the conclusion, I proved to myself I could do it. But I have a long commute. I commute 2 hours each way. And it just wasn't the money. It's a little bit more money. It would spike my pension. But to be honest with you, and I talked to the last two incumbents of this position that know me very well. One of them was the person that hired me 25 years ago. And they're like, you're going to have to give up a lot more of your time. You have that horrible commute. And you want to move on to do something different. Why, at that point, I realized I would be doing it because, hey, it would be a good capstone of my career here. I wouldn't be doing it. I came to the conclusion I wouldn't be doing it for me, and it wouldn't be the best thing. And so the plan now is I'm on an 18-month plan of succession planning. I've hired the person that I want to take my job. I told her that when I hired her, I expect you to take my position. So that's my focus now is ending this section of my career. And moving on to something else. Who knows what that is? It's wide open. And I struggled with that. I struggled with that promotion, when in our initial discovery call. And I think that whole opportunity of doing an interim proved to myself that I have the confidence and capability to do it. And I did it well. And now that it's up, now that they just hired it about 3 weeks ago, I'm confident in my decision, and I'm making the right decision for me, and it feels good.
So just to be clear, you're leaving that particular role, or you're retiring in general?
Retiring in general from this, we have a good public pension system. I'm
great.
Take advantage of that and move on. My plan was always to relocate out of the state of California and so my wife and I are hopefully in the next 18 to 24 months are going to move on. I'm going to get settled. And, people always ask, I feel like I'm graduating college again because, 55 is young to retire. And when I first graduated college with a business degree in environmental science, people are like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I got this business degree. I don't know. It's not like I've learned a trade and I'm going to go do something. And people are starting to do that. And I just say, I don't know. I'm going to take some time, find out. Hopefully I find something that I feel passionate about and really want to do and go do it. Fortunately, I have the security with the pension. I can get by. But we got to occupy our time with something. I'm not going to just, I'm going to ride the bike and sit around and fish and backpack for a while. But, for, hopefully a long time of life, you got to do something. And I'm going to evaluate what that's going to be.
So did being alcohol free speed up your retirement date, do you think? Did it give you more clarity to take that action? If you had been continuing to drink, would that have pushed that retirement date down the road? Like, how did the clarity and the focus and the energy from being alcohol free?
Yes, I think definitely the clarity and the focus puts you in a position to make a decision, to decide on a path and go and do it, other than sit there, hey, doing the same old thing, going to work, commute sucks, job sucks, riding the train back and forth and not doing anything. It forces you, it enables you to want to take action. And then, I started looking at that and just going, you kind of just go, you kind of like are just coexisting. Life is happening to you day in, day out, getting through the day instead of not planning. So I'm like, hey, this is, I sat down with my wife. I talked to my friend in HR who provided me a table, and I'm all, look at the numbers. What if I retire? I have like a 14-month window I gave her. So she gives me every date within those 14 months and what my approximate pension would be. I go, look at I can go, I'm already at the point I could go if you factor in given current gas prices in my commute. It'd be like I stayed till 55, which is like the number you can go. I can go anywhere as long as I've been with the city. I could retire at 50, which is dumb because you're leaving too much money on the table. And I can go at 55, which is the optimum. I go past 55, you get these incremental, bumps in the amount of money you would get. But 55 is the peak. So I'm like, hey, this window's doable. So yeah, it made me clarity to look at it and say, hey, quit complaining about it, do something or whatever. Yeah.
Take us back, if you will, to before you decided to stop drinking. I know initially it was a 30-day challenge, which turned into doing the Project 90 program, which turned into 2.5 years alcohol-free now. What were you drinking and what were the ramifications of your drinking? And tell us about that conversation that your wife had with you.
Okay, so no secret, since college, I'm always the guy that I could go big. I wasn't a 1 or 2 drink guy. So what was trending was I wasn't just drinking on the weekends, and drinking too much on the weekends. I was like on the way to the train, I would stop, have like 2 beers and a shot, 2 IPAs and a shot, and then come home and have like 2 or 3 more beers. That was starting to become a nightly pattern. And then what happened with that day that my wife confronted me, I was just like, today it was like I have an off Friday. Every other Friday I have off, stay home. So she's working. She comes home from work, and I'm just, I went big that day. I'm drunk, and she's like, what are you doing? That was it. What are you doing? I could see the concern, the sadness in her eyes. There were tears, and it was like, this isn't good. And it was just like a genuine concern over my health. I mean, everything, my weight and all that, alcohol is not the supernatural good food for you. And then there was a history of those times over the years with her. I've been with her since 2014. And so it was one of those things that really, it was moving to me to see the concern in her eyes. And, this, and it when you're drinking too much and this isn't what you want to do, and then when someone you care about, confronts you like that, and not in an antagonistic way of just, real genuine concern. She loves me, and this isn't good. And it really, that made me totally pump the brakes, or force me to do it. I had always wanted to go, hey man, I'm going to get in shape. Once I'm in shape, when I'm not riding, because I never didn't really get into the riding thing till now, but I'd run in the past. Hey, when I'm running, I'm totally a different person. I don't drink, this or that. And I never got there. I'd start running, have a few good weeks, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and the yo-yo thing. So I had to do something different this time. That's why I sought out the 30-day no alcohol challenge. I saw some of your videos, and I'm like, hey, I like what this guy's saying. This seems good. So, and then it went from the 30-day to where, hey, I did 30 days, good, had some positive gains, and I could not sign up for the 90-day quick enough because, like I said, I wanted that mind shift. I was starting to get it, but I knew I wasn't there. And then the 90-day was just, and this wasn't something I did. I'm not like a group therapy guy, this or that. And I was kind of those first couple calls, I was just like, there was one guy finishing up. I'm like, man, I want to be that guy. I want to be done with this. I don't, and it was what I liked about it. We weren't talking about, I don't think we ever talked about drinking or really how much we drank or whatever. It was all just these, these positive things, the goal setting, and working on that mind shift of, reprogramming that you're not giving something up, you're gaining. And and it's a process, and you go for me, the weight loss, and like most men, was quick because at the same time I wasn't, I was starting the riding more, obviously wasn't drinking any alcohol, but I was also on a diet plan, and I was on a strict calorie count, and I was just going, full gas on like, I got to get this weight off. And so the weight did come off, pretty quick in the beginning. So, so that helps when you're seeing those, those measurable things coming. But ultimately, The big thing is that clarity and that mind shift in the way you look at it, which has been the best takeaway.
Hi, this is Victoria English, Senior Coach at Project 90, the program that helps high achievers stop drinking either temporarily or permanently. If you're an executive, entrepreneur, investor, physician, or other high achiever and know you're drinking too much, if you know your current drinking habits are compromising your sleep, relationships, health, and your happiness, and you're ready to finally get your drinking under control by quitting for either at least 90 days or 1 year, You are invited to apply to become a Project 90 client. Our 90-day and 1-year programs involve a safe, fun, yes, I said fun, private virtual community of high achievers with a process that boasts an incredible 92% success rate of clients reaching at least 90 consecutive days alcohol-free. Applicants can apply for an introductory interview by visiting alcoholfreelifestyle.com/Project 90. You'll likely speak directly with me or one of our other coaches. Are you ready to stop for at least 90 days? Are you ready to stop for at least 1 year? If so, we can help. Application interviews are limited and are conducted on a first-come, first-served basis. If there are no remaining interview times available, wait a few weeks and try again. Schedule your 15-minute initial application interview by visiting alcoholfreelifestyle.com/Project 90. Let's get back to the show.
What happened to your health? Tell us a little bit about your health.
Okay, so I knew you were gonna ask me about that today. So I went back and looked on I have a blood pressure thing because surprisingly, at almost 260 pounds, I was a big boy and I had some blood pressure issues. So it was high. My doctor, I fought her for years on because I didn't want to take medication. To me, that was a sign I'm becoming an old man, have prescription medication. So I was on a low dose blood pressure medicine, which I'm not on now. But I went back and looked at my blood pressure from March 15th, 2020. Mm-hmm. And that was a bad day. That was a day that was right around the talk with my wife. Anxiety levels were high. You know, we've all talked about the anxiety and the panic attacks you get when you're drinking and you're drinking too much. So my blood pressure on that day, mind you, when I take my blood pressure, I try to get in a state of calmness and this. So this was the best I could do on that day. It was 178/111. So that's full on.
That's not too good.
No, that's not too good. And now granted, I was at an anxious moment. So I took it last night when I got home from commuting, showered, took it, and I go, man, I should sit down and relax a little bit more. It was 111/73.
Wow. 111 over 73.
Yeah. So I do not take any medicine for blood pressure. Blood pressure's back in the normal range. Sometimes it gets a little bit elevated and it's like close to that, what they call the stage 1, but I stay in the good part. And prior to that, I was on medicine for gout. I don't know if you're familiar with gout. Very painful. And for me, some people it's triggered by food. If I overindulged, that's what triggered a gout attack. So I was on medication for that. No longer on that, and had no issues with gout or anything like that. Weight. So I was tipping the scales at a whopping 257 pounds.
That's also not that great, depending on your body type. And
I'm 6 foot. I'm generally a lean guy. All the folks around here. So now I've been here long enough. People don't. So when I came to work this place, I had just run a marathon. In the first couple of years, I trained and ran another marathon. I was a skinny guy. So all these people that haven't seen me, they're like, whoa, what's going on? I go, I'm not a big husky guy. This is my normal size. I kind of got away from it and now I'm back. So I'll give you this number because I stay between 195 and 200 right now. But I weighed myself after a 6-day backpacking trip. So that was my last weigh-in and that was 194. So that's a 63-pound difference there.
That is 63 pounds that you've lost from giving up alcohol and being active and probably.
So when I was packing for this trip, I was going with a buddy of my wife's, you're taking too much stuff. I'm like, God, it's just a better uphill workout. So I weighed myself with the backpack loaded and on. I'm like, I weigh with the backpack on what I used to weigh naturally. Well, not naturally.
That's amazing.
So it's like, so there was that. And I'm still 6 foot tall. Haven't got any taller, haven't got any shorter. Not shorter yet. I think we start going down as we get older. So I'm still 6 foot.
Yeah, you totally transformed that blood pressure. 178 over 111 to 111 to 72.
And granted, that was a high reading and anxious. So, but typically when I would go in the doctor, it would be up in that upper 150, 60, and that bottom number would be 95 to like 105. Mm-hmm. Being in the doctor's office, I don't know. I get weird when I go to the doctor. They always got to do the whole thing. Okay, now relax and take it a few times and this, that. But it would still, that was kind of the more general range. That is a higher number, but it was still like 155, 160 between, and then that bottom number 95 to 105. So it was high. And
so before, when you were drinking and now that you're not drinking, what additional exercises or activities, physical activities, are you now doing compared to when you were drinking?
Okay, so when I was drinking, I thought, you can see the bike in the background. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna like take the train. I always take the train, but I would take a city vehicle and drive back and forth. I'm like, I'm gonna bike, And so the closest train station is 3 miles. I'm like, hey, and I try to go run at lunch. Like I said, I ran in the past. So I'd try to do that. I would, 3 miles here and 3 miles back in the afternoon, maybe a little jog here and lunch, and try to get on track. So that was it. So to give you an example, and then after I started going like, hey, I like this biking thing. There's a lot of guys on the train that are cyclists, and I would talk to them, and then, going through this stuff, you kind of encourage, hey, ask people what their story is, And there's this guy from South Africa, and he just bikes like crazy. Skinny guy, my age, a couple years older. I thought, how do you bike so much? Why do you bike so much? And he's like, well, I like to eat, And so I got a bike, and just rides tons of miles. So how it's changed, I ride as much as that guy now. So I went back and looked at those stats. So when I was doing that, I was riding like maybe 500 miles a year. So you can verify my Strava data. In 2021, I rode 10,000 miles for the year. So in
2021, you did 10,000 miles?
Yeah, for the year.
Cycling.
And
how much did you do in 2020 or before then?
It was 2020 was the start. 2020 went up. I think I got around 5 because I started this journey in March. So in March to the end of the year, and we were locked down and you couldn't do anything else.
So about 5,000 miles in 2020?
Maybe about that. But prior to any of that, it was like 500 miles for the year.
Got it. Okay. So 2019, 500 miles, 2020, 5,000. 2021, 10,000.
Yeah.
So your blood pressure is going down and your miles on the bike are going way up. And your weight's going down as well.
Cycling became a thing. My wife would always tell me, especially on those off Fridays when I was, at home around the house, drinking beers, you need to find a hobby. I found my hobby. I love it. And so I'll go. So the 3 miles before work has now turned into 20 before work.
Wow.
And then I'll go out with some guys at lunch, and we'll do another 20 to 30 on some days.
Incredible. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, and it's just great, and it's like I like it, I enjoy it, I feel good, and I don't have to worry about everything I eat. Still doing the ice cream. I don't know if you remember that. So that was my treat. So I said, sometimes I gotta cut that down. But I'll have that little bit of ice cream at night, just as a treat.
You mentioned your wife before. How has your marriage changed since you went alcohol free from that day where she was getting teary-eyed and expressing concern? What was your marriage like, I guess, in that phase of life, and what's your marriage like today?
It was our marriage was good, but I could tell you that the alcohol was becoming a problem, and a straight on the relationship. Now being alcohol free and have gone to several social settings and stuff like that where there is alcohol, I realize what a relief it is for her. Now that I don't drink, because you're always like, oh, is he going to go too big or this or that? And it makes me like, feel bad to look, looking back going, hey, I put that pressure on this person going, hey, now she can, enjoy herself and not have to worry about me because it's not an issue, and she's a one, two drink person, and that's it. And, so it's made those situations better. And what I think is it's the little things, that as we go on through the day-to-day little things are important to me. I'll give you an example. Right now my mother-in-law is in a care facility. My wife is responsible for managing all her affairs, and she has to move her. So last night I come home from work, she's out taking care of errands for that. And running around, calls me a couple of times. I've just, the pressure of this or that, and we got to do this. And I'm like, yeah, we'll get it done. I'm not happy about spending my weekend renting a U-Haul and moving stuff, but we'll do it. I'd have been so negative and grumpy about that in the past. So anyways, I'm sitting there, the San Francisco Giants baseball game's on, the drinking Steve, that pass, I would have sat there, cracked a beer, watched the game. Hey, honey, what's for dinner? Oh, you're picking something up? Great. I turned on the game and I'm like, Giants aren't very good this year. They play 162 games. I really don't need to sit here and watch this. And I noticed there was, the dish and dishwasher needed to be put away. Dishes need to be done. And I'm like, why don't you take care? Not my favorite chore. I don't think it's any guy's favorite chore. I got up and did that instead of watching the Giants game because I was aware of what my wife was going through. Drinking, don't pay attention to it, or pay attention to it and don't care enough to take action. I think all those little things, and there's lots of those things as we go on. And it's those little things in life that you don't do or you do, hopefully, the positive things that make a big difference. And I think a lot of those things that aren't measurable by numbers or anything like that, but it's those just little gestures and thinking about the other person and going, hey, I know she's having a rough day. Why don't I do this? Because I know she's going to come home and oh, this needs to be done or this, that, and just have it be done. So I think I do more of those things, and I'm just a better husband. And when I've got clarity and doing that. So
amazing. Any other improvements or noteworthy things that happened over the 2.5 years? I mean, not that you haven't shared that much already. I mean, your blood pressure's dropped, your weight's dropped, your cycling's increased. It sounds like go ahead.
Well, a lot of people in my group, are entrepreneurs, have their own business, or their pay is driven by performance. I'm a public servant. My pay is what it is. I don't have the opportunity to increase my pay, but I have been better with money. And talking about those retirement plans, I could tell you this. So when I started P90 in the 30-day challenge, I really didn't have anything in any kind of personal savings. I got about 25K in personal savings now. And I've doubled that amount in contributions to my one of my retirement accounts. So that's about a 75K swing, for the positive, with my standard public salary that I don't, it's not like, hey, I had a great quarter and, I wrote, 50 more permits and 5 citations. That doesn't, my volume of work is just, the nature of my job, that I don't get paid for performance or extra performance. So, but that financial thing in my personal finances and the way I manage, I look at them more frequently. I manage all my spending on an app on my phone. I could tell you how much I spent in gas last month. It just wasn't stuff I tracked or paid attention to. You don't make careless, whimsical purchases. If I'm going to buy a new bike, I'm going to investigate it and talk to a lot of people for 6 months before, I drop some big money on something like that. So just more thought out financially.
Got it. All right. Well, this all sounds pretty good. I'm trying to find any holes in this or anything that wasn't good. Was there anything that wasn't great about being alcohol free that you recall?
No, I mean, I know people talk about, what my friends are going to think. And I thought that in the beginning. I love walking in the room. Steve doesn't drink, or Steve's still not drinking, and I had early on the train, someone was retiring and they knew I was doing this. And I was like in the middle of P90. and she was retiring and they were drinking. And I said, hey, I'm not, I brought some cupcakes and stuff, on my bike, and I get on the train and they got some expensive tequila. They hand me a shot. She hands me, oh, come on, you got to do one, just one. I'm like, now I'll pose for a picture with you. And after the picture, I'm like, yeah, here you go. This is all you. And, she felt bad about it afterwards and texted me, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And I said, hey, no, it's just something I don't do. I drink anything but alcohol. And, it just feels good. I just not part of my life anymore. I explored that road. I was, drank more than my fair share, probably a lifetime's worth. I'm good. I don't, it's something I'm proud of, and I don't sweat that at all.
Yeah. Amazing, Steve. Well, congratulations again. 2.5 years alcohol free. Can't wait to check in with you again in another 2.5 years. Imagine what you're going to be like in 5 years. You'll be Superman, retired.
I'm gonna give you one. So the big thing I liked about it, and we didn't talk about it, and I know we got to go, was the accountability. Accountability is key to me. Of being in that group and going, hey, we're doing this week. We'd all set goals. Obviously, given not drinking, that's the obvious one. But we'd set other personal or professional goals we're going to do, and that really works for me. So I'm going to give you an accountability one. I'm going to leave you with one. If you remember the Diet Coke thing, it's still a thing. I'm going to quit the Diet Coke, and so you check in with me. I'm going to do it. It's still one of my bad things. I like try to look at things. Is this going to add to my performance? Is this going to add to my performance on the bike? I love going a long distance. I love being in the group and being not the guy fading, not the first one to fade. I like to be that guy going. And so I know it doesn't add to that. So I'm going to, next time you check in with me, ask me about it.
I will. All right, Steve. Well, congratulations again. Thanks so much for sharing your success with us. And, can't wait to check in with you again in the future. And for you, the listener, if you want to learn more about the very 90-day program that Steve went through, then you can go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com. There's also a link down in the description. And if you are an entrepreneur or an executive or investor or top professional, and you would like to speak to one of our coaches just to see if you are a fit for Project 90, then you can schedule a 15-minute complimentary call at alcoholfreelifestyle.com/schedule. And that link is in the show notes as well. Steve, thanks very much, mate.
All right. Thank you, James. Take care.
Thank you. And to you, the listener, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. Hi there. This is James Swanick. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I would be so grateful if you would leave a review. That will help us climb the rankings and get our show exposed to so many more people who could really benefit from the content. You can do that by going into Apple Podcasts, rating the show, writing a little one-sentence summary, and posting it. That would be so amazing. Thank you. Likewise, if you would like to schedule a 15-minute exploratory call and apply for our Project 90 program, then you can do so by going to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/project90. If you'd like to get the free guide, that is the Alcohol Freedom Formula Guide, you can go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/guide. Our YouTube channel is at alcoholfreelifestyle.com/YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at James Swanick. Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next one.